Hello. You will remember that a few videos ago I went through the report that was made by the NatWest Bank about Nigel Farage, and I pointed out how semi-literate it was and how it took evidence from newspaper articles, mostly of the left-wing variety. And I had 40 pages to get through, and there was a limited amount of time it got to. As a matter of fact, that video was actually nearly 40 minutes long, and that was by no means extensive, but I cut it down very severely to 20 minutes because, there's just so much I expect you to be listening to all at once. But there were a couple of things I cut out which I really think are worth mentioning now in a separate video, just as a sort of a quick rundown. And one of them was the opinions of this lady, Dr. Shogbamimu, of Nigel Farage. And she said he was a racist. There was a whole clip of it there. And I thought I would show you Dr. Shogbamimu in another publication, The Voice, which is a publication aimed mostly at, well, I don't know what it's aimed at. It's aimed at people who sometime back had an African heritage, but I don't know whether it's aimed principally at Caribbean, Afro-Caribbeans, or at Americans. I rather get the feeling it's more Afro-Caribbean, but that's just my opinion. And I thought I'd just give you a quick rundown of the good doctor's attitudes to things, because anyone who was doing research on witnesses for and against a certain client, I mean, they shouldn't have been doing that in the first place, but given that, they might have gone into the history of the witness and whether they had some sort of an axe to grind. Okay, so before I talk to you about Dr. Shogbamimu, I'll tell you I'm Granniopteryx. I'm on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute and Minds. I'm also on Twitter and Gab, where I let you know when I've uploaded a new video. All the links are in the description, as are links to donation sites, and yeah, that's it, as are links to donation sites. Like this video, which I would appreciate, and share it and subscribe. If you're on YouTube, remember, you've got to keep checking that you actually are subscribed. So this is an article under the name of Dr. Shogbamimu, and it says here, racism is white people's problem. I mean, you get an idea of what her opinions are just for that. And by the way, that's not a revolutionary black beret on her head. Her hair has been arranged so she has a permanent revolutionary black beret here. And there are shells here. This is definitely African. But the point is that African people don't adorn themselves with shells anymore. They're a bit more sophisticated than that. So what this woman has chosen is a look that is, sort of a racist view of an African. And she thinks this is good. I think that's rather amusing. She seems to have taken her fashion hints off Marlene Headley, doesn't she? AKA Ngozi Fulani. Right, so Dr. Shola is a familiar sight on TV. Yeah, they wheel her out whenever they want some outrageous person to talk nonsense. Whether that's doing battle with Piers Morgan over racism directed at Meghan Markle. Hang on. There's supposed to be something else after that. Dr. Shola is a familiar sight on TV. Whether that is doing battle with Piers Morgan over racism directed at Meghan Markle, or They seem to have forgotten that. I don't think much of the person who wrote this. Fearless and forthright. She takes no prisoners. No, she is a race grifter. An author of the popular book, This Is Why I Resist, Don't Define My Black Identity. Oh, but we do define your black identity because this is what you feel you have to look like. Some sort of primitive woman who goes to the seashore to pick up shells to hold her hair together. Mind you, that hair is probably mostly nylon. They're just speculating there. British Empire was a good thing. How do you combat such ignorance in the atmosphere? Oh my goodness me. And then she says, the majority of those will be white. Well, so who cares about their opinions? But I'm sure that there'll be some black and brown brothers and sisters shooting off their mouths as racial gatekeepers. I mean, this is the most racist person you could possibly come across. And this is a person who was taken as, quoted as a witness for Nigel Farage, well, to prove that Nigel Farage was an unsuitable customer for Coutts Bank. Now, this is another article. This was, I did mention that there was an article, in fact, I quoted it. It was in Nursing Notes, and it was talking about Nigel Farage as despicable. I just want you to see this. An overwhelming majority of nurses intend to vote Labour. If this isn't a Labour puff piece, then I'm Jerry Hall. An overwhelming number of healthcare workers plan to vote for the Labour Party in tomorrow's general election, according to a survey by Nursing Notes. So this must have been 2019, mustn't it? With over 30,000 nurses throughout the UK, their vote is always sought after. So we're powerful, yeah, stunning and brave. The survey also revealed that around 5% of healthcare workers are still yet to make up their mind, and 3% don't intend to vote at all. Of course, when you come up with something like this, you're using the power of the crowd to convince people that they should go along with the crowd. So it says here, an online survey of nurses, doctors and healthcare assistants undertaken just hours before the polls open has revealed that a massive 82% intend to vote for the Labour Party in tomorrow's, no apostrophe there, general election. Okay, well, yeah, that's it. That's the quality of the magazine. And this is the quality of one of the witnesses who say that Nigel Farage isn't worthy of being taken in, you know, sort of has awful opinions. But, you know, as I've said in other videos, it doesn't matter what your opinions are. As long as you're not forcing other people to follow your opinions, then your opinions are your opinions and you should be allowed to keep them, however objectionable they are. Okay, well, I just thought you might be interested in that. Till next time. Why not treat yourself or a favoured relative or friend to these magnificent examples of merch? The mugs and t-shirts come in the granniopteryx design or Granbo with a firearm or the more deadly knitting needles. Go to www.granniopteryx.com and whatever platform you're watching this on, please click like, subscribe and share.